It just ticked over to 4:56 on my watch, which means the sun has officially risen across the Lake District National Park. I'm currently on the eastern boundary and I've got to make it all the way over to the western coast. It's a journey of 42 miles, taking me over the 3 highest mountains in this national park: Helvellyn, Scafell Pike and Scafell 2. It is an absolutely monumental journey today, and I've got just under 17 hours to pull it off in. I really wanted to push myself today, and I think this is probably going to do it. The first mountain on my radar, Helvellyn. I've got about 4 hours to get between here in the town of Tyrrell, through Pooley Bridge, down the side of Ullswater, up Striding Edge and summit Helvellyn for about 9 AM. And if I manage to do that, I should be on track for a really good time. We are absolutely going to hammer these miles today. Let's get on with it. So this lay-by here, this beautiful lay-by you can see, that marks the start of the Lake District National Park. No grand signs like I'd kind of hoped for, but that'll do. Got a lay-by, that is it now. We are officially in the national park. I'm just coming into a place called Howtown, which is on the side of Ullswater Lake. Now, that is actually quite a good sign. I mean, obviously at this point in this sort of mission I'm on, it's optimistic to think that I'm doing well because you never know what's coming. However, Howtown signifies probably sort of 1/8 of this done in about an hour. Now, you might notice I'm on quite good roads at the moment, and that is what's going to change. I have been absolutely hammering down these roads, sort of been jogging, running quite a few sections downhill, speed walking as fast as I can, because I know that these few miles between here and Helvellyn are going to be the fastest of the day. We've now got 3 hours to get from here in Howtown to the summit of Helvellyn. That is still going to be an ask, but when you've got views like those over there, does it really matter? Two-hour mark, and I just stopped for my first break. Still heading down the side of Ullswater at this point, but we should be coming to the end of this in hopefully about half an hour's time. I have just had confirmation that after 2 hours I am 10 miles down. That's a good pace. I know why it's a good pace, because I've been jogging a lot of sections because it's been roads. We are going to slow down now, but it's a good section to have done early on. Hopefully we're still going to be set for our target of Helvellyn for 9 o'clock. We've got 2 hours till then, and I think from where we are now to the summit's about 5 miles, so it logically should be possible. But I think this is going to be a really tough couple of hours up to the summit. So I'm starting the main climb on Helvellyn. It's safe to say the sun is fighting back, there's no doubt about that. The problem is at the moment we're going through a mini heat wave, which is that the best time to do 40 miles across the Lake District? Probably not, especially when you're racing the sun too. I'm hoping it might cloud over again in a bit. Looking at the forecast, that is unlikely. You win for now, son, but I will defeat you. Oh, there we go. That is mountain number 1 done, and God am I glad. That sun is making it so difficult, and I'm looking at where I've got to go. It goes up a lot more, so I think it's going to be a draining day. I was very optimistic starting out when it was freezing cold, but now the sun's come into contention. It's definitely going to be a hard day. I've still got no doubts that I'll make it across the sunset. I'm making good time. It's now 10 to 10, which is 50 minutes later than I wanted to be up here, but it's still not bad though. One thing I have got now I've summited Helvellyn is smoothie in a flask. Oh God, that's good. That's ice cold. I've never actually done this with a flask before. Normally I just bring coffee, but I thought today, because of the heat, I'll bring something nice and cool and sort of energising. So I've got spinach, a banana, peanut butter and soya milk in a smoothie. My God, is it the best thing in the world. The sun is racing me, it's there. I'd say I'm actually ahead of the sun at the moment, which is handy, but it will overtake me at some point today. I've just got to keep up. Helvellyn was the first opportunity that I got to run downhill. I do bits of trail running here and there, but this was really quite difficult. I knew to keep up with that time, to give me any chance of actually getting to the western boundary before that sunset, I had to make every single mile count, every single mile as fast as possible, but it was becoming harder and harder in the midday heat. It took me about 20 minutes to get from top to near enough bottom, to be honest. If you were just walking that, it'd do your joints in a lot more. I think it'd hurt a lot more, you know, and you could be looking at an hour easily to get down, and I can't afford that today. So yeah, it's one area where I'm going to cut as much time as possible. However, you've got to be careful, obviously, because I really don't want to break my ankle doing it. But look out to Thelmy. Look at that. Beautiful. Half empty though, but very pretty. I do feel a hell of a lot better now I've done that. I was starting to get very hot. Ever since I've come off Helvellyn, I've just been getting hotter and hotter. I saw this on the map and I was sort of waiting, praying there was a decent way to get down, and luckily there's that bridge which crosses this river, and yeah, I've been able to come down and cool off a bit. I think I'll have one more cool off before I go again. It's such a warm day. Luckily some of the clouds are starting to come out now, so they're going to make my life a little bit easier. But we are coming up to about halfway now. Between Helvellyn and Scafell is by far the hardest terrain that I've got to deal with today. I mean, really hard. My legs are feeling it, but you know what? It's also some of the most spectacular scenery that I've ever seen. I mean, look at these mountains. We've got lily pads down there in almost a mountain pond. There's dragonflies. I mean, the scenery is just absolutely staggering, and when I'm not as tired, I will definitely be coming back. I think that's what's quite nice about this, is I'm exploring new areas that really I wouldn't bother with most of the time because there's not a nice sort of circular, but actually when you were just walking through an area and you cover all that ground, you do see a lot. And I'll tell you what, all this up here between Helvellyn and High Seat, my God, is it worth seeing. So you you join me as I am around about 23 miles into this thing. And I'm on top of the mountain, high raise, currently 2 p.m, which is later than I wanted to be here initially. But it's not a million miles off, so hopefully we should get up Scafell Pike in the next couple of hours, preferably before 5. And then realistically from there I've got 4.5 hours to make the 13-mile descent down to Ravenglass, which, I mean, my legs are done, to be honest, so that's probably about right. But I'm not going to be defeated. I am going to beat that sun to the western coast of the lakes. It bloody kills me. So that's it, I'm coming up to the last big climb of the day now, up to Scafell, and I basically thought I'd fill my water bladder up. I haven't filled it up all day, and I was running really low. The only problem is with the water here is there is livestock around, which really is a bit unadvised. But the only problem I've got is there's no water between here and probably Ravenglass that I want to drink. This is high enough up, that was flowing water, it's running straight off a waterfall off Scafell too, and I've put purification tablets in, so you know, within about half an hour that should be set to drink, and hopefully as a reward for getting to the top of the highest mountain in England. Oh, you'll never guess what I found. It is, of course, Scafell. There's been quite a few times today when I didn't think I was actually going to see it. It's now 20 past 4, so I am behind on time, by quite a bit actually. When I summit Scafell, in hopefully about 20 minutes time, I'm going to have, I think, 12 or 13 miles left out to the ocean. The only difference is it's all downhill, and actually quite a large majority of it is on lanes and back roads, so I should be able to start jogging again and hopefully make up that time.
I remember that final push onto Scafell so vividly. I'd been aiming for this all day, the highest mountain in England, and finally I was so phenomenally close to actually summiting it. The problem with Scafell is you get up there and find there's 500,000 people, so filming wasn't possible, and I quickly walked off the summit.
So that was the summit of Scafell Pike. We've just got one more to go, Scafell, which is over there. We are doing it. It's 4:45. It's 4:45. As soon as we summit Scafell, we are down off here. I would have done this at the summit, but there's like 1 million people there, so. Okay, last mountain. Okay, so I know I said up there I've only got Scafell to do, and I'm right. I didn't realise the route up Scafell from Scafell Pike. It's up that chimney. Where is it? It goes straight up there. like a grade 2 scramble.
I mean, obviously, it isn't a grade 2 scramble. In fact, it's kind of barely a grade 1 scramble. But when you've walked nearly 30 miles across the Lake District at this point, you know, who cares? Grade 1, 2, 3? Let's call it 4 for the hell of it. Let's get back to the scramble.
It's 5:05. If we make it up there in the next hour, we'll be okay. That is not what I wanted to be tackling at the end of my day.
Yeah, that was definitely a oh fucking hell. And it kind of warranted it, to be honest. This was actually a lot slippier than I thought it was going to be. In the wet, I dare say it could be a little bit tricky, this gully. However, it still was a lot of fun. One of the biggest problems really setting in at this point was tiredness. As you can see about now, it's starting to slip around, especially on that scree. And yeah, it didn't make it any easier to get up that last mountain, but we did it.
So that's it, as I sit here now, that is number 3, mountain done, Scafell, finished off. Helvellyn, Scafell Pike and Scafell in one day. I've still got about 12 miles to do to get down to Ravenglass to get down to the ocean, and I've got 4 hours to do before that sun sets in the ocean. I need to get a shift on. That's it behind me. That's Ravenglass, right in the ocean. All I've got to do is get down and get there. Right, quick situation update. For 2.5 hours till sunset. I've got just under 11 miles still to do. Now, it's not infeasible. I mean, I did 10 miles in a couple of hours this morning, and that was on some tracks that weren't brilliant. So I'm kind of hoping if I hit the roads, get on those back lanes, don't bloody slip on this shit, I might stand to make it to the coast before that sun sets. This is going to be close. My God, what are the odds of that on a backcountry lane in the Lake District? Literally, I was walking along thinking I just need a bit of energy, a bit of a boost. A bloody ice cream van comes along and stops and takes contactless. How much of a coincidence is that? Anyway, I'm going to enjoy my ice cream and power my way to Ravenglass. We got exactly 1 hour till that sun sets, and I've still got 5.2 miles to do. If I jog most of this, I might just make it. The thing is about this adventure that I've done today is it's been unbelievably hard. I was informed earlier that this has been actually the hottest day of the year so far, and I can believe it, to be honest. It's been rough, particularly some of the valleys when there's been no breeze. But in all of that, heat and chaos and 40-mile walks, I've genuinely discovered some incredible places in the Lake District by doing this. I've found hidden waterfalls that I'll be climbing back to. I've discovered that Scafell is a much better mountain than Scafell Pike, and I will be back to do that again because it was a lot of fun. It's hard to sum up nearly 17 hours worth of walking straight. It really, really is. When I set off this morning, I didn't even imagine, to be honest, that I'd actually end up on the west coast, and especially when I was going through those valleys and the heat was hitting. But here we are. This is it, the last few steps towards the finish line. Now, I'm sure most of you were expecting me to finish on a nice white sandy beach, and that'd have been very nice. However, I don't do things like that. I like to do it properly. The reason I'm here is because right where I'm stood now, on the banks of this river, is one of the most western boundaries of the Lake District National Park that you can actually access and get to. So all the other boundaries are a bit further out at sea, but it's all MOD land, it's all quicksand, and they're beyond the sand dunes, so you can't really get to them. So this is the most western boundary that I can get to on the route that I've taken today. And that's it. 43 miles in the end. 43 miles, 3 highest mountains in England, all done in 16 hours and 40 seconds. There we go. It's been a really mad day, and I need to go get some sleep and eat something too. What I will say, if you've enjoyed the video, then you know what to do. And if you want to see more of these, then comment below, give me an idea. I mean, I'll literally do anything because I'm a maniac. Hence, you know, today. So if you've got an idea and you want to see me do something and, you know, push myself beyond limits, drop it below in the comment section. Anyway, I will see you next time, and I'm going to go and walk back up the track I've just walked down for about a mile, and then rest my bloody feet. See you soon, guys.